Your daily meals don't just harm your body. They don't give any warning, but for your kidneys, they can hit until they damage your healthy kidney. At this time, millions of patients are suffering from kidney diseases around the world. From salty comfort snacks to sugary drinks and processed meats, some of the most common foods are the worst for the kidney's health. These foods have high phosphorus, sodium, and other kidney-straining toxins, which can tear down your healthy kidneys day by day. But don't panic, because in this video, we'll reveal 15 everyday foods that could quietly ruin your kidneys, and surprisingly, you probably eat some of them every single day. Let's begin our journey with number 15, whole grains. You've probably been told that whole grains are the gold standard of healthy eating, packed with fiber, heart-friendly, and a must-have for clean diets. Did you know whole grains come with a dangerous load? While they may boost digestion and blood sugar balance, they also come stacked with phosphorus and potassium minerals your kidneys have a hard time managing when they're under stress. For example, 1 cup of brown rice can hit you with over 200 milligrams of phosphorus, and nearly the same in potassium. Compare that to white rice, which contains barely a third of that, and the difference is huge. It's not about demonizing whole grains, it's about knowing when they stop helping and start hurting. Foods like bran cereal, whole wheat bread, quinoa, and brown rice might sound like perfect choices, but if your kidneys aren't filtering properly, these health foods can quietly overwhelm your system. It's not about eating less, it's about eating smarter. Sometimes what seems healthy for one part of the body can be a burden for another. That's the kind of food truth they don't tell you on the back of the label. Number 14, processed meat. If you ever grab a quick sandwich with deli meat or toss a few sausages on the grill for convenience, it might save your time, but here you need to know that processed meats, hot dogs, bacon, pepperoni, beef jerky, salami aren't just pumped full of flavor, they're crammed with chemical additives, preservatives, and loads of salt to keep them shelf-stable and snackable. What you're really biting into is a cocktail of synthetic phosphorus compounds and sky-high sodium levels, both of which pile on serious pressure over time. Unlike natural forms found in whole foods, these additives are rapidly absorbed by the body, leaving no buffer or filter for your kidneys to pace themselves. Just a few ounces can send your daily phosphorus intake skyrocketing past the safe mark. And this isn't just about kidney strain. Studies have tied high consumption of processed meats to increased risks of colorectal cancer, heart disease, and metabolic issues. This isn't about giving up meat, it's about dropping the ultra-processed junk that's dressed up to look harmless. Real health doesn't come vacuum-sealed in plastic and labeled smoked for flavor. It comes from knowing what your food went through before it hit your plate. Number 13, dried fruits. They look innocent, sweet, portable, even labeled natural, and they are. But dried fruits aren't as guilt-free as they seem, especially when you snack on them like popcorn. Shrinking fruit down to its dried form might sound like a smart move, but once the water's gone, what's left is a concentrated bomb of sugar and potassium packed into every chewy bite. A handful of dried apricots or prunes might seem small, but nutritionally, it's like eating several full-size fruits at once, without the fiber and hydration that come with the real thing. A single cup of dried prunes alone can load you with over 707 milligrams of potassium. While exceeding these minerals is not good for health, you need to snack mindlessly. And that's before you even account for the added preservatives, artificial sweeteners, or sulfites manufacturers often sneak in for shelf life and flavor. It's a sugar spike in disguise, wearing a healthy label. Fresh fruits offer the same taste, but with water content, fewer additives, and more control over how much you're actually consuming. So, next time you reach for that raisin pack or dried mango strip, ask yourself, don't eat dry fruits too much, as they can cause several kidney problems. Now it's time for number 12, oranges. They look fresh, they smell clean, they scream healthy. They're low-key troublemakers when it comes to potassium overload. One orange might seem like nothing. It's juicy, it's natural, it's fruit, right? But behind that sunshine peel is 250 milligrams of potassium. And a single glass of orange juice? That's 450 milligrams straight to your system, no fiber, no breaks. It's easy to sip your way past safe limits without realizing it, especially if you're topping it off with other sneaky potassium-packed foods throughout the day. Juice goes down smooth, but it hits hard. And the worst part, you'd never guess something this healthy could stack up fast and weigh your system down. It's not about cutting oranges off completely. It's about knowing how fast a few sips or slices can tilt the balance. Go for fruits that offer flavor without the potassium bomb, and don't let the vitamin C label trick you into thinking more is better. Because when you add it all up, this citrus crush might not be as sweet as it tastes. Number 11. Soda. Crack open a cold soda and it feels like instant refreshment, but it's not the truth. There is no chill. Beneath the fizzy thrill and flashy labels lies a dangerous mix of high phosphorus additives, refined sugars, and lab-made sweeteners that don't just taste artificial, they act artificial in your body too. Unlike natural phosphorus found in real food, the kind used in sodas absorbs almost instantly, leaving no time for your system to ease into it. Pair that with 30-40 grams of straight-up sugar in a single can, and you've got a toxic combo that messes with more than just your waistline. Blood sugar spikes, insulin chaos, and internal inflammation all start stacking up, and if you're someone dealing with metabolic issues, it's a slippery slope. Think you're safe with diet soda? Not really. Those zero sugar labels often hide synthetic additives that wreak havoc in other ways, especially with long-term use. This isn't about one occasional sip, it's about the habit. Sodas aren't just empty calories, they're liquid trouble dressed in bubbles and caffeine. Reaching for one every day might feel harmless, but in the long run you're trading short-lived fizz for damage that doesn't show up until it's already done. Number DC, apricots. They look harmless, small, soft, and wrapped in that sun-kissed orange glow. But reality brings more than just sweetness to the table. Each little fruit packs around 90 milligrams of potassium, which doesn't sound like much until you realize how fast it adds up. Grab a handful or reach for a dried version, which is even more concentrated, and you're stacking potassium in a flash without even thinking about it. And here's the thing, too much potassium in the bloodstream isn't just a number issue, it can throw your entire rhythm off. We're talking muscle weakness, irregular heartbeats, and in severe cases, life-threatening heart complications. What makes apricots even trickier? They often show up in health snacks, granola blends, or organic dried fruit packs, hidden behind a clean image, but delivering a punch your body might not be ready for. While they're rich in vitamins and fiber, they're also a stealthy source of risk when eaten freely and frequently. It's not about fear, it's about facts. The golden rule with apricots: keep it minimal, stay aware, and don't let their tiny size fool you into thinking they can't make a big impact. Because in nutrition, the smallest things can flip the whole game. Number 9. Potatoes and sweet potatoes. Mashed, baked, fried, or crisped into chips, potatoes and sweet potatoes are everywhere. They've earned their place on the plate with fiber, vitamin C, and energy-packed carbs. But here's the flip side. Nobody talks about both types are loaded with potassium in amounts that stack up fast. A single medium potato brings in over 620 milligrams, while a sweet potato isn't far behind at around 440 milligrams. And while that might sound good for muscle and nerve function, too much of it can backfire, especially when your body's trying to stay balanced. These root veggies aren't villains on their own, but when eaten in large portions or fried up into chips and fries, they turn from nutritious to hazardous. Add in sodium, oils, and flavoring agents, and suddenly, your favorite side dish becomes a triple threat overload. One way to ease the impact: soaking peeled potatoes in water for a few hours before cooking can reduce potassium levels, but moderation still matters. The issue isn't the potato, it's how often, how much, and how it's served. What feels warm and familiar on your plate might be quietly tipping things out of balance if you're not paying attention. Number 8. Dairy. Milk, cheese, yogurt, even that tempting scoop of ice cream, dairy feels like home on a plate. It's rich in protein, loaded with calcium, and pushed as a bone-strengthening must-have since childhood. But dig a little deeper and you'll see why dairy isn't always the wholesome hero it's made out to be. Every glass of milk or slice of cheese carries more than just nutrients, it's also carrying a heavy dose of phosphorus and potassium, minerals that build up fast and can throw your body's balance off when consumed in excess. A cup of 2% milk, for example, contains over 250 milligrams of phosphorus and nearly 400 milligrams of potassium, a sharp hit for anyone trying to manage their intake. And don't forget the saturated fats hiding in full-fat dairy, which can slowly wear down other systems too. What's tricky is that dairy doesn't come with warning labels for this, it hides behind marketing and nostalgia. Sure, you don't have to cut it out entirely, but mindless dairy loading, especially from processed cheeses, flavored yogurts, and creamy desserts, can gradually throw things off course. It's not about fear, it's about control. Know what you're pouring, sprinkling, or scooping before it starts piling up where you don't want it. Let's move to number 7. Pretzels and crackers. That satisfying crunch might feel innocent, but pretzels and crackers are some of the sneakiest snake traps. While most people grab a handful without thinking, at work, on the couch, in the car, and before you know it, you've taken in a serious load of sodium without a single nutrient to balance it out. These dry processed bites are often packed with refined flour, preservatives, and sky-high levels of salt, making them more of a flavor trick than actual food. You're not getting fiber, you're not getting real fuel, just a salt spike disguised as a snack. The real issue, you can blow past the daily sodium limit of 2,300 milligrams with just a few servings, especially when munching straight from the box. Over time, that constant salt exposure builds pressure in more ways than one, raising blood pressure, messing with fluid balance, and forcing your body to work harder than it should. And let's be honest, no one eats just 3 pretzels. They're addictive by design. So next time you reach for that crunchy fix, pause and check the label. That casual snack might be doing more behind the scenes than you bargained for. Number 6. Legumes. They're hyped in every health guide: beans, lentils, chickpeas, and peas. Affordable, plant-based, and praised for their fiber and protein, legumes seem like the perfect food. These tiny powerhouses come packed with potassium and phosphorus in amounts most people overlook. A single bowl of cooked lentils or pinto beans can load your body with more than 730 milligrams of potassium and a heavy dose of phosphorus too. That kind of intake can quietly build pressure on your system, especially when eaten regularly. And the tricky part? Legumes show up in everything from soups and stews to healthy meat replacements, making it easy to eat too much without realizing it. While they're nutrient-rich, they aren't meant to be eaten by the bucket. Soaking, rinsing, or double boiling can ease the load slightly, but smart portions are key. Legumes are good, but not when they're taken to extremes or treated like a free-for-all. Balance is everything. Number 5. Tomatoes and tomato sauce. Tomatoes look bright, juicy, and bursting with flavor. Tomatoes are a kitchen essential. From fresh salads to rich pasta sauces, they show up in almost every meal. But while they're celebrated for their antioxidants and vitamins, just 100 grams of raw tomato brings in around 230 milligrams of potassium. But it doesn't stop there. The real issue starts when those tomatoes get concentrated, like in tomato paste, ketchup, or pasta sauces. Cooking down tomatoes amplifies their mineral content, meaning a small serving of sauce or gravy can deliver double the hit without half the warning. They might look like a harmless side, but tomato-heavy meals can pile up potassium before you even notice. Even your favorite condiment, ketchup, is often loaded with salt and sugar on top of the mineral content. It's not about avoiding tomatoes entirely, it's about understanding how quickly they go from healthy to heavy when turned into processed forms. Number 4. Alcohol. It starts with a glass at dinner, a weekend toast, or a late-night unwind, but alcohol isn't as casual as it seems. Behind the buzz, it's a direct hit to your body's filtration system. Alcohol messes with your hydration, disrupts your electrolyte balance, and overworks vital organs by forcing them to clear out toxic compounds faster than they should. It also throws off hormone levels that regulate blood pressure and fluid retention, 2 things your body needs dialed in. Regular or heavy drinking chips away at these systems over time, turning a moment of relaxation into a slow-building health cost. Alright guys, now let's talk about something simple and dangerous. Number 3. Canned and frozen foods. They sit quietly on store shelves, promising quick meals and zero prep, but canned and frozen foods often bring more salt than you bargained for. From soups and stews to frozen dinners and pre-seasoned veggies, these products rely heavily on sodium to boost shelf life and taste. But when they exceed their limit, they can harm your body. That means even a modest portion can flood your system with salt, edging you dangerously close to your daily max without you realizing it. It's not just meals. Canned beans, meats, and even seafood are often loaded with preservatives. Many come with sauces, seasoning, or marinades that tip the balance fast. Number 2. Pickles and relish. They might seem harmless on the side of your plate, but pickles and relish come with more than just flavor. They're loaded with sodium that adds up fast. That signature tangy kick isn't just vinegar, it's backed by heavy salt, used to preserve and ferment these crunchy snacks. A single large pickle can hit you with over 1,600 milligrams of sodium, and even a small serving of relish or kimchi can quietly take up a huge chunk of your daily limit. These foods are often added casually on burgers, in sandwiches, or as garnishes without a second thought. But their salt levels make them more intense than they appear, especially when paired with other high-sodium meals. Many people like this, but for the kidneys, they are not as good as they seem. While fermentation can offer gut benefits, it doesn't cancel out the salt load. The flavor might be bold and addictive, but that bite is doing more than just waking up your taste buds. It's tipping the scale toward excess. A little goes a long way, so knowing when to stop is key. Number 9. Nuts. Nuts are often labeled as the perfect go-to snack, packed with plant protein, good fats, and natural oils. But behind that health halo is a mineral-heavy load that's easy to overlook. Take almonds, for example. Just a 1-ounce serving, about 23 pieces, contains 136 milligrams of phosphorus and 208 milligrams of potassium. Now switch to cashews, and you're looking at 168 milligrams of phosphorus and 187 milligrams of potassium in just 18 pieces. That adds up quickly, especially for those reaching for nuts multiple times a day. These numbers may seem small, but they hit hard when portion control goes out the window. What's tricky is that nuts feel light, easy, and guilt-free, yet they can quietly deliver a nutrient overload when eaten casually. Even healthy needs limits. If they're part of your daily snack game, it's smart to be mindful of the quantity, not just the label. So what you eat isn't just about calories or cravings, it's about chemistry. Every bite builds up something: energy, strength, or stress. And when it comes to your kidneys, the balance of sodium, potassium, phosphorus, and oxalates is everything. These nutrients are essential, but too much, too often, can push your body into overdrive without you even realizing it. The goal isn't fear, it's awareness. Knowing what's in your food gives you power, and small changes like checking labels or swapping ingredients can make a real difference in the long run. If you found value in this video, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more no-nonsense health tips. And as we always say, before trying any of our remedies or methods discussed in this video, be sure to consult with your doctors. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon in the next one. We'll see you